back to recruit reaction. Here's a video from Zach Herbstreit of that Tennessee missed opportunity. Oh, it's a heartbreaker. Look at Tennessee. See, they knew it. I think Tennessee fans on the other side of the stadium thought that that was good because it had the distance. It looked good. I mean, it was just off from the jump, right from his foot. This thing doesn't fade on him. That doesn't fade. That's just a missed kick. So we're going to break it all down. We are here, me and Steve Wiltfong, for Recruit Reaction. And Steve, Tennessee deserved to win that game. That's not my quote. That's what Kirby Smart said after Georgia won 44-41. There was 5 lead changes in the second half. It was almost time for Knoxville's. The lid was about to blow off in Neyland Stadium. And it was almost an instant classic. Well, it still was an instant classic if you're a Georgia fan. So Georgia fans, get in the chat. Let's hear it. How does it feel to win another one in Neyland? Steve, what was your impressions of the game?
Well, Tennessee deserved to win, but so did Georgia. Gunnar Stockton played phenomenal, 23 of 31, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns throwing, 1 more rushing. The poise that he had in his first road start was typical Georgia, right? The Bulldogs, the culture of their program, the way they play for 4 quarters, they took Tennessee's best shot again. I think this is 5 years in a row that Tennessee has had the lead against Georgia, and they've lost all 5 of them. But what I'll say to this is Tennessee is a legit national title contender. This is a program that has gotten better every year of the Heupel era. They made the college football playoff last year, and now here they are taking Georgia to the brink with the chance to win the ball game with a field goal and a back-and-forth game. Tennessee could have folded in the second half when Georgia made their run. They held Georgia to field goals instead of touchdowns. That was pivotal in the second half. You know, Tim Banks' defense, the style of play. Tennessee's so physical. The Herring kid looks like a future star for the Vols. They got difference makers on both sides of the ball. This was Aguilar's first big start on this kind of stage, and he had some throws that he'll certainly want back. He'll get better each week, but I thought Tennessee could finally run the ball some against Georgia, which they haven't been able to do historically, and they've been able to play at a level physically that Georgia plays at and other national title contenders play at. I think even though Tennessee didn't win the game, they were able to show all the recruits in the stands they can go toe-to-toe with any program. They're going to be in these games. They can win these games, and they can be part of the next wave of Tennessee football players that help bring this thing back. Peyton Manning on the field pregame talking to Tennessee quarterback commit Faison Brandon. I mean, how cool is that? We saw a couple years ago him doing that with George McIntyre, smoking a cigar in the Vols locker room. Now he's out there rubbing elbows with Faison Brandon. Just the star power at Tennessee, what that program means. That stadium was so loud. It is arguably the loudest stadium in college football. Rocky Top, Tennessee, just ringing in those Georgia players' ears all day, which, again, just a credit to Gunnar Stockton, a credit to their offensive line, the way they were able to play through all that. There's Kennedy Brown, the number 1 player in the country, offensive tackle, 2027. Tennessee was a program that he highlighted to me before the season that he wanted to visit. He'll be back for this was to check out a game day atmosphere. Talking to his mom, I expect them to be back down the road at some point. Look at Cooper Witten right there, the prize linebacker recruit. Sees that Tennessee defense flying around, making plays. This was the first game that he chose to attend this season when he was putting together his itinerary. So Tennessee, they didn't get the win today. David Gabriel Georges, obviously they're battling Ohio State for him. They're in the right recruiting battles. They're showing that they have the chops to win them. They're going to keep winning them on the trail. It's going to lead to wins instead of losses in these games down the road. Georgia, still the most consistent program in college football. But Tennessee is now one of those programs you can look and say, hey, they have a legit chance of knocking off the Bulldogs. They have a legit chance of going on a run in the postseason because I expect Aguilar to continue to get better. This was a heck of an opportunity for him to get that experience against this Georgia football team. And just an exciting ball game. Yeah, it really was. And Joey Aguilar playing like Joey Swaggalar in that first half. He ended 24 for 36, 371,
4 touchdowns. You're right. He had 2 picks. He'd probably like to have a couple throws back, but overall, in Gunnar Stockton, right there with him, 23 of 31, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns. But Georgia, like you said, you consistently one of these great programs. They consistently ran the football. Even when they were down 2 scores early, Georgia didn't back off of running the football. And I think that's kind of what opened it up for Gunnar Stockton a little bit. Nate Frazier goes for 73 yards. Colby Young had 73 yards receiving, leading the way for that Georgia offense. Great performances all around, Steve. Georgia Bulldogs, they pull it out in Knoxville. An instant classic if you're a Georgia fan.
Josh, Tennessee had 3 flip targets on campus on the defensive line. Dre Quinn, 4-star, committed to the Clemson Tigers. This is kind of a historic visit in the sense that I can't recall a Clemson commit taking a visit to another school while he's been committed to the Tigers in the Dabo Swinney era. Maybe it's happened. I just can't pull it to top of mind. Iverson Garcia is an in-state defensive lineman from Powell High. 2nd week in a row, he's been on campus, same high school as Walter Nolan, where Walter Nolan played his senior year. That one's trending well. And then Andrew Rogers, a 4-star edge rusher committed to Virginia Tech, also visiting today, a high school teammate of Faison Brandon. If the balls are on the gas for those guys, I could picture them all in the fold. Tennessee is the number 8 recruiting class in the country right now. Georgia Bulldogs, they sit at number 2 in the Rivals recruiting rankings. They are looking for some flips here, Josh. In every cycle, we see Kirby Smart and this staff flip a high-profile guy or 2 down the stretch, and a lot of it's going to be based on senior evaluations, who's having a great final year of high school football. Then they're going to get those young men to campus, and they're going to these games are reminders of who Georgia is. And Kirby Smart, whenever he talks to a prospect, we win the NFL draft every year. We have the most players drafted, and then we consistently win football games like this. Like, yeah, Tennessee is a great opportunity. You'd be a great player in Knoxville, but we rolled into Knoxville and got it done again. And so they have the inch on the trail. They have the inch on the field, and Georgia's going to be a program that's going to be able to flip some people here during the season, and they're looking to do it. It could be on the offensive line, could be in the secondary, maybe at wide receiver. So Georgia looking for more prospects in the 2026 cycle. Running back is another position where maybe they could take another if it's the right guy that's having the right senior season. A guy like Chad Simmons and I have talked about, Amari Latimer, who's currently committed to Wisconsin, but was off to a fast start his senior season, an in-state recruit. So who's Georgia going to flip? We'll be talking about that more in October and November, but it's these kind of wins that remind these top prospects why the Bulldogs are the Bulldogs.
What a fun game. And really, what a finish by the Georgia Bulldogs. You know, you would think college football is a little different. Just because Georgia has success doesn't mean they'll always have success. And Kirby Smart has to teach every team how to win. And this was a game of attrition. There was moments where it felt like it was hopeless for Georgia, but they just kept coming. They kept battling. They kept playing. They kept playing sound, fundamental football. They made all 3 of their kicks. You know, even though they settled for some, they didn't miss any. Zachariah Branch maybe didn't fill up the stat book as much as some of the other receivers in this game, but his catches, they were clutch. His touchdown was clutch. Zachariah Branch had a monster game for Georgia.
They're always so poised, and it starts with Kirby Smart. I was talking to Cody Belair and Charles Power about that via text during the game. Mm-hmm. Kirby Smart, he gets on the refs, and he gets on his players only if they do something to embarrass the logo on the field. But when things are not going well on the field, he is incredibly poised. He rallies his team. He's very positive with them from my vantage point, and they respond well annually when they're in these tough games. And so you knew they were going to keep playing for 4 quarters. And again, Tennessee is led in all 5 of these ball games of the Heupel era, and Georgia's found a way to win all 5.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
This one
unbelievable game. The finish, I'm still getting to the finish. Here's the missed kick. We had our own Zach Herbstreit of On3 on on the sideline, right there, Georgia or Tennessee fans.
Look at
The
those
look in their
overalls, man.
eyes. They know it's going wide. Oh, you don't want to catch that football if you're a Tennessee fan. That doesn't feel great. But Georgia does it. Now, this is recruit reaction, so let's talk a little bit more recruiting. From an atmosphere standpoint, I feel like this is still a major win for Tennessee. Tennessee fans are walking out of the stadium sick to their stomach right now, heartbroken. But if you're a top recruit, you're thinking, wow, that was a great game. You saw Peyton Manning. You got to talk to Josh Heupel. You saw all these other 5-stars there. For much of the game, Tennessee really had it in hand. So you got to feel the vibes of what Neyland feels like when that top is about to burst and everybody's going crazy on third down. So even though they lost, Steve, this still has a major impact on recruiting for Tennessee.
Not only did they see arguably the best atmosphere college football can offer, I mean, it was a frenzy stadium there in Knoxville today for this game against Georgia. It was deafening. I'm sure you had trouble hearing the person sitting next to you throughout the 4 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
They saw a Tennessee football team that can compete with anybody and go after the national championship. I think last year we knew Tennessee was a team that should make the college football playoff, but we didn't take them serious as a national title contender. Now, they still got to play through October and November and stay healthy, but you continue to see the progression of this program, and they show you ways that they are getting better, including the way they just competed against Georgia today. So the program is still on an upward trajectory. Recruits see that, and it's a place that's special, and they feel like they could help restore this team to a national championship. I think sometimes when you have a bunch of recruits on campus and you take an L, it's just a blow. And those Tennessee players and coaches aren't going to be that much fun to be around. But it's like, look, we were right there. We might get another crack at these guys in the college football playoff, and so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I think Tennessee walks out of this game thinking they can win the rest of their ball games, get themselves a home playoff game, perhaps. If not, one of them buys. I lose track of the playoff rules, but I think they're still in line for a great college football playoff seed. And I think they're the number 15 team in the country. Georgia's number 6. I think Tennessee moves up after that performance. I'm bullish on the Vols.
Yeah. Tennessee fans, Georgia fans, both of you, exciting times. Lock in, hit subscribe right now to the Rivals Recruits page because this is going to impact recruiting, and we are going to not only talk about it all week, but all season. Neither of these teams are going to slow down on the recruiting trail. Just to wrap it up, 3 defensive line flip targets on campus for Tennessee. Clemson commitment, Dre Quinn, I think was probably the headliner of the weekend in terms of the 2026 class. Virginia Tech defensive line commit, Andrew Rogers, and USF Iverson Garcia. It's clear, Steve, that the Tennessee Volunteers, even though this class is about finish, it's still clear they have a need on that defensive line.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they're going to address it with some of these guys. They still want to land a running back as well. So it'll be interesting to see where things take off, whether that's a Carson Baker and Amari Latimer, 2 guys from the Sunshine State. Baker committed to the Florida Gators right now. Latimer, Wisconsin. We know they want another running back. We know they're going hard for defensive linemen. Tight end is another position where I could see them getting the spatula out and trying to flip somebody. So Tennessee will be a program to watch, especially if they can build off this ball game. If Joey Aguilar can limit the mistakes in big games moving forward, Tennessee is going to be a real problem because he played great other than a couple of throws.
All right. Well, we are going to be talking Georgia. We're going to be talking Tennessee. You guys let us know. Comment section below. Get in the chat. Let's fire it up. Georgia fans, how you feel? And put it in the comment section below.